Hello out there, and welcome to the No Shit Cast. I'm your host, Matt Frazier. Woo, got a fun lineup of stuff set up for us this evening, folks. Sitting in the co-pilot seat for the festivities as usual, none other than my intellectual brother from another mother, the great wizard of historical knowledge himself, Mr. Eric Smith. And how are you tonight, Mr. Smith?
I'm doing as well as a person who has had it demonstrated to him the value of garden gloves while gardening.
You gardened recently?
No. It was demonstrated to me.
It was demonstrated. The value of gardening gloves. Okay, so you're a better person now.
Indeed, I am, right? Because like you're more I don't garden. Yeah, because I didn't garden, I didn't know, and now I've had it demonstrated that it needs to be done if it's going to happen. Gardening. If gardening is going to happen, gloves are needed.
I never considered this.
See, me either.
Yeah.
But see, I'm a better person for knowing this.
Gardening gloves, game changer.
It is.
Big deal.
Don't follow this Duran Duran lyrics where they say she does the garden with her nails wet. That does not happen.
I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't either. It's Duran Duran lyrics, man.
I found that to be a lyric in paradox.
That's Duran Duran lyrics.
Okay. That's kind of what I was thinking, like it was... The fact that I've actually considered these lyrics, and probably because of you,
probably
is the whole thing in and of itself, man. So we got some pretty cool new YouTube comments here recently, but I don't have that open, so I can't mention it. It's somebody we both know, or no, it's somebody I think was on there commenting recently. Was it Daniel something or
Reed Dillashaw?
That's it.
Oh, okay. I didn't see him. I did not see the comments.
Yep. So
not yet.
I thought it was pretty nice, Thank you very much for the comments, Reed.
Hi, Reed. I don't know what the comments were, but hi, Reed.
Do you know any basic bitches?
Do you know? Considering that maybe quadrupeds would be.
No. Not talking about canines here. We're not talking about. I'm talking about like the vernacular, the hip vernacular of basic bitch.
Apparently, I do not.
So these chicks like things like pumpkin spice latte and stuff like it's this whole thing #basic bitch kind of trending thing now. So I saw this pop up because I'm married to one.
I see.
I love her. She's amazing, light of my life, but she's a basic bitch, man. When you get right down to it, by definition, she is. So. This is for all you basic bitches out there, and ladies, you know who you are. Don't try to pretend you're not, because this one is going to twiddle your fancy. You ready? Starbucks might bring back pumpkin spice lattes early than ever this year. Ooh, can you hear that? This is from Mental Floss. You can't. I know. Can you relate to this at all?
No.
I'm telling you, dude, this is a big fucking deal.
I've heard about it. I've heard that it's a big deal, but I heard that it was like a bad thing with chemicals, but I don't know because...
Well, of course, man. It's chemical shitstorm. You think they're back there squeezing pumpkins and shit?
No, that would be terrible. Why would anybody want pumpkin flavored anything?
I'm just saying. This was reminiscent for me of the time when bacon... Remember, we had bacon flavored ice cream. We had bacon in ice cream at one point in time.
That doesn't sound healthy.
Dairy Queen, I think, did it. I probably shouldn't name drop in case I'm wrong. But anyway, yeah. So this, to me, this whole pumpkin spice bullshit is like, I mean, you can get everything pumpkin spice now. I bet you can go to a steakhouse and get a pumpkin spice steak. Do you feel an autumnal chill in the air, Mr. Smith?
It is.
No, it's like 80 and humid as fuck. Probably not yet, but that won't stop pumpkin spice lovers from returning to their seasonal addiction in just a couple weeks. Though the company itself hasn't announced an official date yet, Business Insider's reporting that some Starbucks employees have contacted them and leaked on social media that the coffee giant's pumpkin spice lattes will return to the menus on August 27th.
It is by will alone I set my mind in motion. It is by the juice of Safu that thoughts acquire speed, the lips acquire stains, and stains become a warning. And it is by will alone that I set my mind in motion. That's all I can think of.
You feel like this is a sort of programmed kind of thing?
No, it just reminds me of Dune with all this talking of the spice going on.
Oh, because right. Oh, duh.
Yeah, it's
How
like
did I
the
miss
mantra.
that?
I don't know. That's the mantra
Jesus,
that they would
man.
say, at least on the David Lynch movie.
Absolutely. If true, this release date will be the earliest official launch for the fall-themed drink ever. Starbucks has established a definite trend of inching up its pumpkin spice launch date in recent years. From 2015 to 2017, the date went from September 8th to September 5th.
Insidious is global warming.
And then made a significant leap to August 28th in 2018.
Like the magnetic field reversing.
Granted, this year's alleged August 27th date is only one day earlier, Mr. Smith.
But certain flowers won't bloom right now.
But with the public constantly clamoring.
Yeah, that sounds very Roman. The plebes are upset. We need to satisfy them. Get that spunkin. See, since you've said that, that's all I want to say now. Spunkin.
Spunkin?
Yeah, spunkin pice. Get that spunkin pice out there and give it to them because the pickings and chigs
Well, we should note that tonight's episode has been brought to you by Single Malt Whiskey, ladies and gentlemen. Discerning whiskey for discerning people. Let's see. But with the public constantly clamoring for pumpkin spice season to begin earlier and earlier, it wouldn't be surprising if Starbucks continues to shift its date year by year. You get where this is going.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's just going to be available.
Until we're all sipping PSLs.
Oh, wow.
At our 4th of July barbecues.
Well,
4th of July, break out the pumpkin spice, bitches.
That's outrageous.
This is the thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, man, I guess people like that sort of thing. When I go to Starbucks and order something, they always ask me if I want flavors, and I'm like, no, that would be sacrilege. I don't want flavor in my coffee. Yeah.
Flavored coffee. Thank you.
This one young girl looked at me and she says, we got flavors, right? I looked at her. I tried not to laugh, and I said, "Yeah, I know."
I'm old enough to be your father, right?
She just felt sorry for me because I didn't tell. Maybe this old guy doesn't know there's flavors that we have. One of which is pumpkin spice.
Anything else irrelevant you'd like to talk about? Or
she's just trying to help, man. She just wanted me to be aware there was a whole world.
I know.
Of
She's just
taste.
trying to help you, Grandpa.
She was, yeah.
You silver fox.
Yeah, I know. I was like, God, no, just. Sacrilege.
Dude, the ladies.
Venti cappuccino, extra shot of espresso.
They just wilt under your sunlight, man. You're just the silver fox, dude.
Discerning taste.
I'm telling you. You just captivate the ladies.
I do, huh?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Dunkin's, also a major player in the pumpkin spice game, is less coy. It announced
How so?
Well, let's find out. It announced on Monday that the entire fall menu will be available starting August 21st. For which it'll drum up excitement by rebranding 8 stores as Pumpkin.
Time flies quickly. Why is everybody trying to speed it up over here?
Well, why do we, that's that whole joke, right? So, like, soon as Halloween decorations go down at the Walmart, boom, Christmas decorations go up, and Thanksgiving's like, what the fuck? Like, what happened? Like, we're just skipping. We're going to have to, we're going to only have, there's going to be Halloween, 4th of July, and Christmas, and that's going to be the only 3 holidays. And everything else is going to be preparation and decoration for them.
They already call it the holiday season. They've already given the umbrella termage for it.
It's kind of ironic, though, because 2 of those 3, and possibly, it's arguable, 3 of those 3 have very strong pagan roots, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Halloween, well, not 4th of July. Shit, what am I thinking? No.
Yeah, man, that's got some strong pagan roots.
Strong pagan roots.
Definitely.
I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking. No, Jesus Christ. No, but... yeah, I don't know why I went there. Okay, so that's a moot point. Moving on. You ready to do this one? From Futurism, moving on.
Yep.
Futurism, astronomers just drastically narrowed the search for alien life. Let's talk about people that believe in aliens and not how screwed up I am on what the meaning of the 4th of July is.
This sounds fun.
We can safely rule out an entire class of exoplanets.
Okay.
Scientists may have been looking for extraterrestrial life in all the wrong places. There's where it falls apart, Eric. Okay, we're just looking in the wrong places.
Apparently.
Okay. Astronomers were just able to rule out life on an entire class of exoplanets. The researchers published Monday in the Journal of Nature looked specifically at the exoplanet LHS 3844b. That's probably the one. Isn't that the one that the aliens?
Okay, yeah, they absolutely destroyed that colony. It was terrible.
A small rocky planet. There it is. Yeah, orbiting a star similar to our sun. The study found that this particular exoplanet is too hot to support an atmosphere for now. The Scientific American reports that the scientists behind it suspect similar worlds are as well. Whether these rocky, roughly Earth-sized exoplanets that orbit sun-like dwarf stars make good candidates for alien life is an ongoing debate among astronomers, according to SciAm. Scientific American.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
But this new research may have put the final nail in the coffin, at least for exoplanets that orbit their stars as closely as LHS 3845b. The study found that the exoplanets orbits its star similarly to how the moon orbits its Earth. The same side is always facing inward. The star-facing side of the planet sits at a roasting 767 degrees Celsius. That's hot.
Yeah.
And the other side is over 1,000 degrees colder, resting at minus 273 C.
Okay, so dig this, right? This is one of the special properties of our planet that's kind of interesting that I guess they're saying isn't typically found in other places, right? One of the things that makes us special is that we have a spin, and that spin tightens the precession. The precession is the wobble of the spins, like when you spin a top. If you hadn't looked at its axis, how that axis spins is precession, right?
Okay.
So a lot of planets that don't have the spin of that nature, their precession is much, much greater than ours, right? The Sahara Desert was formed when there was like a 0.5 or 1% shift in our precession. Like, it has drastic effects.
Oh, wow.
And take a planet like Mars, it can actually rotate up to like 50 degrees as it spins. And that kind of a spin will slow down the inner core of that planet, the molten core of that planet, and have it become stationary and cool off a lot quicker than it does if you keep it spinning, right?
Yeah.
And it has more time to get the thermo energy radiated off of it as it's still in motion, right? But once it stops its spin, like it did in Mars, then that's how Mars lost its protection against the solar rays of the sun, its magnetic sphere.
It stopped spinning?
Well, the inner core stopped.
Oh,
right. What generates Earth's magnetic sphere is the core inside.
I totally ditched an article on some new breakthroughs in the study of the Earth's core.
Really?
Yeah,
well, that's all right. I mean, we're talking about it.
No, I was like, oh, he ain't gonna know shit about this, and now you're telling.
No, man, I'm just saying, right? Like because the core stopped spinning, the magnetic field shut down.
Right.
The solar wind then bled off the atmosphere of Mars. That's how they think Mars lost its atmosphere, right? But the reason why we keep ours is
because our core keeps spinning.
Yeah, and so these planets they're talking about seem like they're saying that the one side is just facing the sun, right? It doesn't rotate. So one side gets really, really hot, and that's a problem. So they're saying that most of these planets aren't spinning. And one of the reasons why they say that our planet was spinning is because another planet hit it after it formed and dislodged the moon from the Earth.
Well, explain to me. This is what trips me out, because entropy is a for real fucking thing, right?
Entropy, yeah.
Okay. Why does our core not slow down and stop?
It is bleeding off energy. It's just doing it at a much slower rate because the precession allows the spin to keep things in motion. So there's a lot more friction that's going on, and it's taking longer for it to cool down.
So it's reached this weird like phase of physics where the friction is causing it to stay liquid, but that's also what's helping it spin. And because of the pressures and everything, it's sort of just propagating this on and on and on and on into like some strange eventual eternity kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you stop the world from spinning, that would stop.
Well, if you stop the core from spinning, we're fucked.
Yeah,
right.
Basically, well, we'll lose our atmosphere.
Yeah, we're fucked.
You could make atmosphere, and you could live underground, but probably not many people would survive.
Yeah, you and I.
probably wouldn't survive.
We're screwed. Yeah, we're done.
But there's not much that can really stop it. I mean, the days used to be about 6 hours long when the moon was a lot closer, and the moon is going against the spin, so it's slowing the Earth down.
That trips me out.
But the moon's also getting further away, too. So
the Electric Universe guys are always talking about, well, not always in all of them, but there's some of them that talk about how there's all these celestial things that are written in history that indicate things like that the days were shorter and like bizarre ass shit. And I'm over here because a lot of it, again, from a historical standpoint, I don't understand it at all. But it just trips me out. It's like, wait a minute, the date. So you're saying there was a point in time where it was 6 and 6. So we had a 12-hour day.
Yeah. Yeah, there was that point in time, and then it's gotten longer and longer, and it still gets longer and longer.
Well, let me ask you this. Is there a chance it was ever shorter than that? I mean, is that a real possibility that it was like, I don't know, 2 hours?
Yeah,
it's possible. Is this how Methuselah got to be 4,000 years
I don't know about that. Yeah, I mean, maybe. But yeah, it's possible. I mean, because the way they measure this is through minerals that are in the earth.
400 years old, right?
Methuselah was like 10,000 or something.
Jiminy. Okay, I was way off.
I think, maybe. I know he's just supposed to be the oldest guy in the Bible. And a lot of times they use him as being the head of a vampire myth.
Bizarre.
Yeah, well, because a lot of people have turned Cain and Abel into a vampire myth. But I digress.
Okay, yeah. Please do.
No, just saying that a lot of planets probably don't have that, right? Because that's two really specialized things that we have. We talk
about the Goldilocks zone. Yeah, science talks about the Goldilocks zone, but they're really referencing distance from the star. But this is starting to point out, okay, that's step one sort of the Goldilocks zone. And then there's this whole other
then there's
side.
There's got to be the spin, and, the precession's got to be good. The magnetic core's got to be good so that there's a magnetic field / shield to prevent solar radiation from blowing the atmosphere away. There would have to be a lot of these things, I would imagine. I mean, all planets that have atmospheres would have, and I would presume unless they're gas giants, would have a magnetic field in place to protect that if they were at least as close as our planet, which is 1 astronomical unit.
You know what? Riddle me this one, Batman. Okay. So when we talk about things like the Big Bang Theory, that's a concept in which, and you'll correct me, I'm sure if I'm wrong here or what I'm wrong with here, that all of existence sort of started from this, all of matter, everything that exists in the universe, the cosmos, sort of started from this one central point, that highly compressed, super small thing that just sort of exploded.
That's the going theory.
But then when I hear astrophysicists and things speak, they talk about the cosmos in terms of infinity.
Yeah. Okay?
My question to you is then, if all of matter exploded it out from a central point into existence, and we talk about the background cosmic radiation, and I don't want to go down a bunch of wormholes, but shouldn't there be an edge of matter?
There is. It's called the Hubble view.
So you can see the edge of matter.
I believe we can project the edge, and we're close to seeing the edge. We project the edge because
then that would be fundamentally the nail in the coffin for the Big Bang Theory. Then would it not?
Well, it's a pretty robust theory that's.
But you've told me that for the Big Bang Theory to actualize, though, it has to break the laws of physics.
It did at one point.
At some point, it's broken the laws of physics.
That's what they say, because
has it only simply broken the laws of known physics? Is that really what?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could phrase it that way. You could say it broke the law of known physics. There could be another set of physics that are in play at that moment in time that caused these events to occur. Just like one could consider that there's a different set of physics in play concerning quantum events, right? So. And that's why every scientist is looking for a grand unified field theory, because if they can find that, we really literally do at this point have two different kinds of physics.
Right now.
Right? Yeah.
We got two fields.
Right, for sure. There may be other physics we don't know about, right, that might power UFOs and stuff, but assuming there'd be a third. Either way, if there was a third or a fourth or a fifth, the idea would be to find something that was some common denominator between these. So that you
that's why it's so important.
Yeah, so that you can figure shit out back and forth.
Because once you understand the math, then you can predict shit.
Yeah.
It's funny how that works, huh?
That's
how
funny.
Facts work, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then because of that fact, you can base new calculations and they'll work. Quote, to have life as we know it, you need to have liquid water. Abraham Loeb, an astronomer at the Center for Astrophysics at Harvard University and the Smithsonian Institution, who worked on the study, told SIAM, quote, in order to have liquid water, you need to have an atmosphere.
And in order to have an atmosphere, you
have to have a rotating core of some kind, right?
Producing a magnetic field.
Ferrous core.
Yeah.
Yeah, producing a magnetic field to block off the cosmic rays to create. Yeah, so when you start doing the math here, this is why I say it's far more likely that any ancient alien thing that we may ever discover on this planet is actually an artifact from a previous human civilization.
Well, these are some of the points that people bring up when they talk about how there is the possibility that out of all the creatures in the galaxy, we might just be the head species currently. There may not be.
Yeah, somebody's got to be first.
Yeah, and it could
what
be
if it's us?
And it's starting to look like it is when they start putting some of this together, right? The special circumstances under which we...
right, man? That means we're going to be in charge, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think some people might think it's a bad thing, but, I mean, yeah, like you said, someone's got to be first. It could be us.
Good Lord, it's awful invadey of me, isn't it?
We're myth builders. We would be really good at being that first species. We would put in a lot of architecture and myth and philosophy, and we could see the universe with some pretty interesting things.
The apes just entered the Stone Age, right?
That's what they say. They're using spears.
We got like built-in subjects here. I mean, I'm sure.
Well, plus the genetic experiments that we've discussed on the show before, of course.
You know, I've been dodging those lately. We've done so much shit on DNA, but I've been watching those articles where they...
They ain't going away, are they?
No, they're becoming more and more. Yeah. Like it's dude.
See, we were cutting edge.
We're gonna have to address this as a society, man. This is a fucking thing. This is not going away.
I can't wait for Planet of the Apes. And you know what I've talked about small apocalypses happening that just kind of resets the clock for the betterment of the planet.
Okay,
I'm thinking that Planet of the Apes one is probably a really neat one.
Yeah,
you know, like I'm waiting for that. That's cool. I can't wait for Charlton Heston to come back in time in a ship and be all confused because no one's talking.
Damn dirty ape.
Get your stinking balls off me, you damn dirty ape. Love it.
Oh, God.
Seen that movie a billion times. Anyhow.
You know,
we're making them.
You keep you've given me the box set and shit, and that's one of those series that I've never actually sat down and watched. I can't tell you that I actually remember the first movie. I know Charlton Heston was in it, and there's these iconic scenes like the Statue of Liberty scene, and I've seen some of that stuff, right? But as far as like remembering even the plot of the movie, I don't remember it. I only remember it in the context of other people talking about it. It'd be one of the things I really probably should. I've heard it's.
You want to hear it in a nutshell?
It's a dystopian view on the future of humanity.
That's in a vague nutshell.
Okay, because that's kind of what I take from it.
I mean, yeah, it is
very much in the trend of the time too. It just happened to be one of the forefront ones.
Here's a spoiler if you're listening and you haven't watched it, people. So essentially, in the future, the near future, we develop apes into being servants. Right? We start training them and teaching them rudimentary sign language and various things that they can do, and they start becoming like a servitude race, right? But one comes amongst them who is fully intelligent. He comes from the future to the past. He's a time traveler. And he grew up there, and he teaches them and rallies them together, and they overthrow human civilization. And they destroy everything. And then time goes by, their race develops, they subjugate man, man loses the ability to talk, right? And they can no longer coordinate together and band together and plan and strategize and all of that. So they become much like beasts. and occasionally the apes round them up on hunts or, for sport or whatever. And into that situation, Charlton Heston comes as a time traveler. He's been in a ship.
He's an astronaut or something.
Yeah,
right?
He's been in a spaceship that's traveled near to or over the speed of light, and he's suffering from time dilation that Einstein talks about, with fast-moving objects going at a much slower rate of time, relativistically speaking, to the rest of humanity, right? So while he's been gone, in our modern times, all of this time has transpired for us, right? So when he gets back to Earth, he doesn't realize where he's at because it's a blasted landscape. And he goes into this village and they capture him and stuff, and everything's being ran by apes, and he doesn't have any idea what's going on, and he thinks it's like a madhouse, and they capture him and stuff, and he escapes, and eventually he goes out into the wasteland to find the answer, and he finds out that the planet that he's on, that he thought was just the wrong planet that he landed on, is actually Earth. Yeah, big reveal. Yeah. Yeah. And then later on, another astronaut comes back for him and kind of goes through the same thing. They get captured by a cult that's worshiping
is this
one
like
of
a
the
later
old
movie then?
Some of the later movies, they're like worshiping a bomb, an atomic bomb, and eventually it blows up and kills everybody. And the only people that escape are some apes that escape into a ship that they rebuilt that Charlton Heston landed, and then they go into the future and they have a baby, and that's the baby that teaches the apes that they're subjugating. It's a cycle.
It's like
time
a weird
loop.
paradox.
Yeah,
right? It creates its own like weird
time loop.
Time loop.
Yeah. So you could pick up any movie, and as long as you just kept going forward,
understand that's the time loop. You know where you are in the system.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter which one you watched first.
Okay. I'm going to have to check them. Like I said, they're iconic. I mean, it's one of those things, like they're rabid fan bases and things for
they're pretty cool, man.
Movies. But I just couldn't get past the overacting.
60s, right?
It was. Was it the 60s?
It was late 60s, early 70s.
Okay.
That they
for some reason, I was thinking it was the 70s, but
the later movies were. The first one I think was like 67, 68, 69. We should fact check. I'm just guessing off memory, but yeah, I mean it's interesting. It also had Roddy McDowell. Yeah,
that was sort of his breakout.
Maybe.
I can remember him being on Donahue or something and talking about the whole process of putting the makeup on. And
it was a big deal back then.
It was a big deal. Yeah,
they had this guy that used to do prosthetics for something for people that had been hurt in battle, I believe.
Okay.
And he started off doing that, and I think he was also the guy that had something.
And then to help humanity, he went to Hollywood.
Well, I think he kind of retired into doing that,
Such a heartwarming story.
Yeah, I don't
know. This one comes from Vice.com. Alien Stock, the festival brought to you by the organizers of Storm Area 51.
You know what? Instead of attacking, why don't we just party?
Go have a fucking giant party.
Yeah.
That's what
we'll have like alien dubstep.
This is the new Burning Man, dude. This is going to be the whole new thing. It's going to become a whole thing.
Alien?
Burning Alien, yeah.
Alien Man.
What are they going to call it? We should try to figure out
Alien Man.
This annual festival now that's going to happen in Roswell, New Mexico. We have to come up with a name for this.
Alien Man. Alien Man 2020.
Alien Man.
Because they'll have it in 2019, and if it happens at all, 2020 will be a huge
But that's such a derivative of Burning Man.
Well, yeah, that's the idea. It's just the same thing, but for people who are interested in UFOs and that sort of thing.
So it's going to turn into like a giant Comic-Con.
Except for true believers.
Except for, right, kind of. I shouldn't lump those people in together.
No, but you're right in the sense that it might be something that would become big and attract a certain group of people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I took the comment, was that it's like Comic-Con in that there's a large group of people who's interested in this sort of thing and would like to get together and talk about it because they are true believers and they want to meet like-minded people.
Yeah, that's good.
So I think that's what Comic-Con is kind of like. I imagine, I've never been there, but I imagine it's like you meet like-minded people and talk about comic books and movies.
Or whatever, right.
Yeah.
Find your tribe.
Yeah,
So exactly. This is just a way for all these people that Because I got to be honest, man. The more this fucking pans out, the more interested I am in actually going.
I wanted to go from the very beginning, dude. I was wanting to go when they were planning on storming. I'll totally go now.
Acid, Eric. Don't take the green acid.
Oh man, I avoided the green, but I took 51 red. I got confused. 51 red.
I seen a meme the other day. It was a picture of somebody's parents. It was like they were hippie, and it says, "Dad never truly recovered from Woodstock." This is going to be a new.
It could be. It's pretty bizarre already.
Okay, so every time we're like, yeah, this Area 51 thing has reached peak weirdness, it surpasses our own expectations. Since the idea was conceived last month, Facebook group set up to storm Area 51 has become a viral sensation. So much so that a live stream of the event is being planned, and the U.S. Army have begun taking steps to secure the top secret facility.
More than they were when it was top secret.
Can we just drop the top secret bullshit now, okay? Because everybody knows it's there.
It's so confusing. Is it top secret? Is it not? Were they guarding it before? Are they guarding it extra now?
Let's just call it what it is. Right now, it's a highly secure facility that every fucking body knows exists. But the U.S. Army didn't reckon on the storming of Area 51 being turned into Nevada's own Glastonbury. Alienberry. Why not?
The Army's not prepared for this sort of a celebration.
You just totally ignored my naming convention there, man. That hurts my feelings.
Glastonbury?
Glastonbury. It's a huge music concert.
I don't know anything about that.
Yes, the latest twist in the... Because I can't blame you for that. Yes, the latest twist in the extremely odd tale is that the event now will be a music festival known tentatively as Alien Stock. Boo! That's a bullshit name.
I knew they were going to do that. Alien Stock, huh? That makes no sense.
No, it's too derivative. It's wrong.
It's like alien hippie stock.
Right. I guess it could be a lot of hippies there. Yeah. Man, it makes the trips make so much sense, bro.
Right.
Taking inspiration from the iconic Woodstock Festival.
Oh, really?
I missed that. It was totally by me. Alien Stock is set to take place between the 19th and 22nd of September. So there's plenty of time to get your
starting
tickets
early, aren't
sorted.
They? It was the 22nd when they were going to storm it. By the time they show up and party for a day or two, what are they going to accomplish?
The base won't even be there anymore, right?
What are they going to do? They're going to be like wiping them up the desert, man. People be tripping and wandering in the desert getting shot.
Hey, man, what's that? Are you an alien, dude?
Dude, you're so green. You must be an alien.
Bro.
You're shot in the head.
That makes sense, doesn't it? Green, fatigues.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there could be a correlation. While no acts have been announced yet, the Festi already has its own dedicated website.
This could be my chance to show my music.
You watch,
to the
man.
world.
I'm telling you, this is going to, there's all kinds of music acts and shit. We're like, dude, we played Alien Toy.
Yeah, I got to get down there with my music, man.
There you go. That's going to be the new Dollar Chaos thing. That's going to be their first, they're going to go out and do that festival next, right? We'll get to go report on it. Please, Anthony's actually coming on the show.
Right.
He's got some bullshit he won't fucking tell me.
When is it?
Who?
When is it that you're recording? Tomorrow? Next day?
2 days from now. So it'll be probably the next podcast. But he's coming on, and he's like, "Hey man, I got something to tell you." And I'm like, "Cool, what is it?" I'm like, and he's like, "But I can't tell you. It's gonna be special." I'm like, "So is it like an announcement?" And he's like, "No hints." So he fucking drives me nuts, right? Because he knows the shit drives me nuts. Because I'm gonna be like, "What is it, dude? What is it?" So he's going to be coming on here. He's got a bunch of shit coming up. Man, I've heard some of because they did the vocals, not to go down, we're completely off topic here, but we did a bunch of the vocals for their new album actually in the studio here. He would come in and laid down the bass tracks. And dude, I've heard these fucking tracks and they are insane, man.
That's why I was asking if.
Oh my God, I have them. I can't play them on the show.
Right.
Or anything like that, obviously, but he every now and then he's like, "Hey, dude, check this out. This is where it's at," kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And fucking dude, I'm just this shit is off the hook. I've never heard. Now I don't do a lot of this kind of music anyway. This sort of I call it Cookie Monster vocal kind of music. It's never really turned me on in any way. Okay. But these dudes have done something. The bass player's a chick. These guys have done something. Just did it again. These people have done something here that they've put something together that is it is remarkable. It's remarkable in the lyricism of it. It's remarkable in it's this weird fucking like off the charts, crazy, interesting. It sounds like an orchestration, like Bach's doing this stuff, man. So it's this very what do they call that? Neoclassical. Mm-hmm. It's got a ton of that in it. Then it's got this really raw shit in it. Their drummer, this dude is alien. He's got to have 8 arms. I've never heard anything like it in my life. And then you got Anthony doing the vocals and shit on it with these epic space opera kind of fucking crazy lyrics and stuff, man. It is nuts.
Wow.
It is so good. And for somebody that, like I said, I have no interest in this kind of music. I couldn't tell you another one of these bands from the next one. This shit, dude, it like makes your heart race. It is crazy good. So I cannot fucking wait for this stuff to come out. It's so good, so good. Anyway, like I said, I'm way off topic. Here, what are we talking about? Alien stock, right?
Oh yeah.
Rachel, Nevada. That's not even fucking. They're not even doing it in Roswell.
It's probably nearby. I imagine.
They probably can't get the permits.
That's where the hotels are, man.
So not technically in the Area 51 facility itself. We just covered that. If we're splitting hairs, the town, however, is the closest to the facility and located down the extraterrestrial highway. What they say about that every minute thing? According to the organizers, which is why it was chosen. They can't stop us from gathering and celebrating aliens.
They can't stop us if we all storm celebrating aliens in another city.
Alien Stock proudly proclaims on its website. I'm so behind this now, man. At first I was like, look, I'm not behind the whole storming a highly secure, top, air quotes, top secret military facility, but getting together and, geeking out about aliens and people getting together and sharing their...
Do you want to take psilocybin mushrooms and storm the base, or do you want to take psilocybin mushrooms and listen to these guys play?
Like, it's got to be like if it's like the Foo Fight, like I'm telling you, the Foo Fighters are going to turn up. You watch, man. This is going to become like the fucking thing.
That'd be great. I'd love it.
Very tongue in cheek for half the people that'll be going, and very like, and then there's going to be a whole other contingent. It's like, dude, no, I'm serious, man. I was anal probed.
Isn't Kevin Spacey supposed to be there?
You had mentioned that. I had not Googled that. You had mentioned that.
That might just be in my head ever since I've seen K-Pax.
K-Pax. That's where he plays he's like an alien that's coming to warn us all about how awful we are or some shit.
Something.
Right?
I don't know. He's like in an insane asylum.
I've never seen it.
He's nuts.
Well, you mean the actor or the character he was playing?
The character. I can't speak to the actors.
I mean, are you making a judgment here? Or?
No. Just I think it was one of those shows where you were like he was nuts, but you weren't supposed to know.
Right.
I think.
Well, you're supposed to be left questioning.
Right. Maybe
whether he was really an alien
or an actor.
That's the. Do you remember that? Have you ever heard of this? Where there was a reporter one time that actually got themselves committed into an insane asylum so that they could accurately report on the current conditions of being and this is when it was all state ran sort of nut houses and stuff where you'd be institutionalized and what the net effects of that were. And I think that when the person finally said, hey, I'm not crazy, I'm actually a reporter and I've done this as an expose, they were kind of like, sure you are, kind of thing.
Oops.
And then I think actually Leonardo DiCaprio made a movie similar. I haven't seen it, but he made a movie that was sort of based on that. It was like a horror movie that was sort of based on the same premise. But if you were to be put in a nut house,
doesn't sound very fun at all.
So Kevin Spacey, so he could come say I'm an alien, and you'd be like, well, are you? Would we know?
I don't. Why
would
just
be like? Sure you are, buddy. So if they ever I've have this theory that the next time a Messiah appears, if a Messiah ever appears in the West, kind of thing.
Okay.
It probably already happened, but we just locked him in an insane asylum and said, "Yeah, sure you're God, right?"
It reminds me of Behold the Man, the Michael Moorcock story. British author Michael Moorcock wrote a short story called Behold the Man.
You talk a lot about him. What is he most famously known for?
His Elric books.
That's it. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, it reminds me of that. I don't want to give the story away, but it's interesting.
No, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
This comes from Futurism. In February 2018, SpaceX launched a Tesla Roadster into space with a test dummy it dubbed Starman behind the wheel. You remember this?
Oh, yeah. They have a live feed, I think, still.
They still do, yeah. According to the tracking website, Where is Roadster? Starman has since traveled 1.2 billion kilometers, or 763.9 million miles, and has now completed one full orbit of the sun. That's a benchmark, right?
Heck yeah.
The orbit took 557 days, which is long enough for the Roadster's radio to play David Bowie's Space Odyssey, a mind-numbing 151,887 times.
That's awesome. That's just awesome.
Starman is currently 298 million kilometers, or 185 million miles away from Earth, but in November 2020, it'll sail within 32.3 million miles of its home planet. After that, the dummy will be far from Earth until 2047, assuming the Roadster survives all the possible disasters it could encounter in the cold depths of space along the way. That's kind of cool, man.
That's very cool. Yeah, man. That is really neat.
I had a buddy of mine, when it was first announced, when they did that Falcon launch and they shot his Roadster into space,
it
was funny because I had a buddy of mine, like, there was this meme going around on Facebook. It's like, what a waste of money, and this is ridiculous, so that this billionaire could put his Roadster in space and all this. And it's like, so I asked him the question. I said, would you rather they put like a $1 billion experimental test satellite on the first ever heavy payload launch of this rocket? And he went, oh, I guess I get your point. It's like, of course. So he took something so precious to him, the first ever Roadster that he made, because he had the first one. It's fucking orbiting the sun now.
That's awesome.
And he stuck it on a rocket to show everybody, like, I'm willing to put something super precious to me on this thing.
It was simply a test. He just did it really cool.
Well,
you pointed out, it wouldn't be something valuable because they'd never done it before.
I think so, but I had to put myself, ultimately, I kind of had to put myself in Elon Musk's sort of place and say, well, what was the significance then of him putting the Model 1, the first Roadster model, that's his baby? And I went, oh, so that he could show people, look, I'm willing to put one of the most precious things I've ever created on the tip of this fucking thing and shoot it around the sun. You can trust me with your satellites. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when it happened, it was like, the bitch is a baller, man. I mean, that's just, there's nothing else you can say about it, dude. That takes, that shows who he is.
It reminded me of like the Jetsons. So like when you go into a planet, there's always like the little asteroid with the sign on it or something like that hanging out right before you get to the planet. That's what it reminds me of. Like you'd come across it and because it's got the sign in that says "Don't Panic" on the dashboard and stuff like that. Just like some sort of a icon of the civilization.
Shout out to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxies, right?
Yeah, Douglas Adams.
Yeah. Great fucking book. Great movie. Great video game, by the way. Text-based game. Check it out, kids. You'll love it. It'll develop you as a human being. It's important, right? Did you ever play that, like Gork and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, or any of those text-based games back when they first came out?
No.
I thought you were a nerd.
I was. I didn't play games though.
Music nerd. You fucking weirdos, man.
I had a TRS-80 and I programmed it. I read both manuals. At some point I had to extend it. Like it went from like 8 colors to 16 colors and then 255 tones that it could produce. And it was extended color basic. And then I would program in it, like I programmed things like...
You know how many people are listening to this that go, what the fuck is he talking about? Like they can't even fathom a computer that could only put up 16 colors and then 32 colors, and then 200. Yeah,
it went from 4K. Like when I bought it, it was 4K.
4K.
Yeah, 4K.
Not gig.
Right.
Not meg. Not tera.
No, 4 kilobytes. It was 4 kilobytes and 8 colors that it could produce, and you had to hook it up to a TV.
Back in my day when we went to school, we walked uphill both ways in the snow, no shoes on. Like, this is our version of that shit, man.
There was a cassette recorder, and you had to plug it into the computer, and you could upload or download onto a cassette tape.
I had a guy pay me $40 one time to put RAM in his computer.
Yeah, jeez.
I'm not joking, because he paid at the time an insane amount of money for it, and I
know how that is.
And I had the ESD wrist straps. So he paid me $40 to come put his RAM in his computer because he was so worried if he put it in that he would cook it.
Yeah.
Now we're just like, click.
Yeah, right. I was always doing that, man. I would always I'd put it in, and I just grabbed the side of the case and put it in. But I put it in my synthesizer too, because I had some from a computer. But at any rate, no, man, like up and loading and downloading on tape, and I would write programs about deciding things where you would list things that you wanted to decide upon, then you would list the factors that was important in deciding which one of these things was the best thing,
right?
And then you would rate the factors, and then you would compare each of the things to the factor, and it would mathematically produce a percentage that told you which one. And I would go through all my cassette tapes, and I would list things like the quality of the art, the quality of the production, the lyric value, the musical value, and I'd rate all of these things, and then I'd put my tapes through them, and then decide. It would show me which one I liked the best. I had a program that was like a.
Let's remember, this was back in the 80s. When
like 83.
Yeah.
82,
Facebook
83.
just does this shit for you now.
Yeah. There's this computer program that was for cars, right? It was like a race car game.
Okay.
And it would just generate these two lines that were random squiggly patterns, right? And they would move across the screen, and you had a left and right button.
You had to keep your over top of it within a tolerance, or you crashed.
Right. So I changed the code so that the lines generated didn't have random values, the R&D value, and just made R&D 0, and it made 2 straight lines, and I put the car there, and I went upstairs and took a bath, and came back down to see how many points I racked up. So I did like stupid stuff like that.
This is the nexus of the video game pole position, by the way.
Yeah,
this
pretty
is
much.
how it all started, you know.
Like maybe one of the first cheatings, you know, like, hey, I'm just going to cheat.
So, kids, pole position was a stand-up video game that had a gas pedal, accelerator, and a steering wheel, and a gear shift on it. And when you were 12 years old, it was the shit because you felt like an IndyCar driver driving this thing.
Yeah, you'd slam that stuff.
Check it out, and now you will understand how little effort you have to put in to suspend disbelief in your parents. It's startling. This one comes from WOWK-TV.
I heard about this one.
This is a hometown story, Ohio, Midwest, heart of it all. Preble County, Ohio, a 7-foot crocodile was found in a creek in Preble County Wednesday. The Preble County Sheriff's Department confirms. That's Preble a lot. The reptile was found in Bantus Creek in West Alexandria Wednesday night by a children's group.
What do you think that is?
From Hilltop Equestrian, Children on Horses.
Wow, they're lucky.
Oh, it couldn't be any better, right? If you're going to find
a crocodile hanging out in your creek in Ohio.
In Ohio, it might as well be a children's group that finds that.
Children on horseback.
On horseback, on spooky animals that are like, what the fuck is that?
They don't look natural.
Ohio Department of Natural Resources was called to the scene after Preble County Wildlife received a call. When ODNR got on scene, an officer shot and killed the crocodile when it poked its head above water. What else are you going to do?
God, you can capture
It's
him.
like there is a dinosaur in the creek in Ohio. In Florida, that's one thing, but in Ohio, it's a whole different thing.
Granted, there's probably nobody in a tri-state area that was able to capture him, but they could have tried.
Dude, all you got to do is YouTube the crocodile hunter.
Yeah, hold on a minute. Let me YouTube this.
Hang on a minute. I'm going to figure out how to fuck this.
You guys got one of those poles with a loop on it?
Apparently, all you need is electrical tape from everything I've seen.
Yeah.
Ohio DNR and the Department of Agriculture are handling the case. It's dead.
Yeah, they
Case
handled
solved. The crocodile's body is being transported to the Department of Agriculture for further investigation, including...
For what kind of investigation? What do you think it is? An alligator? I don't know. You better ask it questions. Hey, what were you doing here?
Oh, wait, you got a bullet in your head.
I know. Like, what the investigation, like to see how it... Like it got, like I don't know.
Well, they're going to tell us, including searching for microchips.
What?
It was a tagged crocodile.
Oh.
And other identifying factors, like whether you can hear a clicking sound coming from its belly.
Well, interesting.
The body will then be disposed of. According to the Ohio, you got to make sure, dude, it hasn't got a clock in its stomach. We got to start there, right?
I guess so.
You have no idea what I'm talking about,
nope.
do you? Hook? Peter Pan? The crocodile bit his hand off? Okay. According to the Ohio DNR representative in Preble County, says it is highly unlikely there are other crocodiles out there. That's what they always say.
Yeah, okay. So they're saying this is an enigma?
The representative says he's been in the county for 10 years and has never seen anything like this.
So somebody...
But trust us, there's nothing else out there.
So I guess the idea is that it got loose. It was somebody's pet.
Yeah, I mean, if it was big enough that they shot the fucking thing, man, I mean, it had to been, right? Because I can't, it gets really cold in Ohio at times, right?
See, when they said the investigation, I thought maybe legitimately they were going to try to determine how long it had been surviving out in the wild, to determine whether it had been left loose or somehow migrated up here or something of that nature. I didn't know. But
well, okay, so crocodiles are a saltwater thing, right? They're not they don't come from Florida.
So he must have
That's alligators. So crocodiles are like an African continent thing, I think, if I remember right, and I could be completely wrong.
I know, because
this is very foreign.
What day did you wake up saying, I probably need to know something about
crocodiles right. Yeah, because they're not indigenous to the U.S. So let's just go right out there and say, yeah, it was transported here by somebody, and then obviously it got loose somehow or something.
See, this is it, man. Like, good with the science and the history, but
they didn't tell us
by the crocodile.
It wasn't very big, and it was going to die this winter, but the deputy put a hole in it and got rid of it early. You know, like I can't see. That's like alligators don't wander to Ohio because it's fucking cold here. You know, like
yeah.
I've been in Florida a lot, man. I played golf in Florida and been like, there's a crocodile over there. He gets my ball. Or a crocodile. There's an alligator over there. He gets my ball, right? And I just drop a ball and take the penalty stroke and hit again. So it's not, down there, it's like, there's an alligator on the 9th hole. Yeah. Okay. Don't fuck with it. All right, got it.
Yeah, right. No.
I think it eats the birds or something. So this one comes from Futurism. Facebook wants to expand its fact-checking initiative to Instagram, claiming that it will investigate memes and posts that spread information.
I thought they were already doing that.
Well, no, they've been doing it on Facebook. They're talking about now expanding it to Instagram. But it probably won't work out as well as the company claims. Wired reports as the Facebook fact-checking program was already spread too thin, and trying to validate the accuracy and intentions of Instagram posts requires more context and cultural knowledge than existing Facebook moderators probably have. They've opened up a can of worms here, man, and they are just drowning in it now because they decided they caved into societal social pressures and decided they were going to start becoming the arbiters of content on their platforms.
There have been a lot of times that I've been pretty free with information on the internet, and I've had people who would look at me appallingly and say, why aren't you covering up your camera with tape, or, why do you have your phone number on your Facebook page or whatever, and they've even went on and taken it off because it bothered them so much. And I'm like, look, man, like, there's so much information awash in this sea that I would have to do something to draw attention to myself.
For real.
For anybody to see my information. Aside from the random psychotic person who would maybe find it and come hunt me down and kill me, right?
I read this article.
But I'm willing to take that risk.
I read this article one time. I was trying to think I think it might have been a TED, or maybe I didn't read it. It was a TED Talk or something. But basically the premise was something to this effect, right? Was that the vast majority of people are overwhelmingly concerned or disproportionately concerned with their online presence versus their significance in the world. And that a human, any person in this country could most likely, because this is how bad it is, to your point, you could create and become an online porn star, and the likelihood of anyone in your sphere finding you on a porn website and oh shit, that's Aunt whatever, whatever the freak it is like so low that I think it's like near lottery winning proportions given the volume of information that's out there. Of stuff. Yeah. And that's the thing that everybody discounts is and I get it because you only think through the prism of what I can see, right? So you think I'm important. Bitch, you ain't nobody. Like in the grander scheme of things, you are a turd. Like nobody cares.
Unless you're doing something to draw attention to yourself, and then
which is a whole different dynamic, right?
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of people who
look, if you go posting your personal porn proclivities on Facebook, then your whole family's going to know what the fuck you're doing. But that's not the point.
And
you'll
draw attention to yourself.
Exactly.
And if you're posting, any kind of intense anything, whether it's anti-Semitic things or political things or anything, eventually you'll draw some attention to yourself, whether it's governmental attention or social media content attention. And I can't count the number of people that I know personally on Facebook, so to speak, who have had to go to Facebook jail for posting something that I couldn't say was bad or good.
Yeah, necessarily when it gets terms of service or whatever, but it pissed enough people off that they reported it.
Some of it doesn't even make sense, man. Like I think one of them was about orcs in a fantasy Milu, like some kind of a meme, and somebody got like banned.
Maybe
for a
there
while
should be like this weird fucking 7-day cooling off period.
I don't know. I'm
just into social media posts. Like you can post it, but it isn't going to go up for 2 days.
Maybe, time for people to review it.
Could you imagine how much that would change social media?
My whole point,
if there was a fucking 10-minute cooling off period, how much it would change social media?
My whole point to this was they can't police all that data. There's no, they don't even if they have algorithms to police the data, they can't police the algorithms unless they're having them. Am I saying that right?
No, you're right. It's I pronounce it algorithm.
Algorithm. Yeah, see, I gotta remember.
But
that.
I think it's spelled ALO like algorithm. Yeah, but
at any rate,
I'm just a programmer. What the fuck do I know?
I know. That's why I keep asking. You gotta, and I'm gonna say it wrong again. But
I can't tell you you're wrong. That's the problem.
it's like, oh, is he from England or some weird country?
Right,
he is. Yeah,
it's because that's the way it's spelled, man. It's phonetically, I think it's correct, but I don't think that's the way.
Sounds very musical.
Yeah, but no, you're absolutely right that. What it ultimately devolves into is community policing. And when you get that, then you also get community bias.
But there's just not enough infrastructure of community policing for that amount of data.
Absolutely. It's unreasonable.
The police themselves are contributing to that data. They probably have their own Facebook accounts.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Or some interaction on social media.
And then and like it's saying here is like you're expecting a certain level of sort of nuance from on every possible subject from people that are expected to then visually police this community, and it's ridiculous. It's impossible.
Imagine a dystopian future where love is not allowed and the police police the city and they're pheromone police and they're looking for people falling in love. How would you police pheromones from everybody? Everybody's releasing pheromones constantly, right? This is like information on Facebook and all other social media. People leak information.
It's gross.
Constantly. How would you police that?
See, I don't get all like Gucci, like that way with it. What I see here is I'm making up fucking words here, Eric. Okay. When I look at this, what I see is that in the founder's intent of things like the Constitution of the United States, and I'm not going to go down a wormhole here, is I see that they kind of had an understanding of the fallacy of believing that you could actually police speech. Like, I don't think it's, so what I think is happening here, or what I see happening, is the realization that this is impossible.
Well, sure, yeah, the public speech back then was a lot more of a limited thing. Like through...
Well, given the exposure, you
on
jump on your
through
proverbial
newspapers
soapbox you
had the town crier, you had some papers, you had some mail maybe, but it wasn't something that just anybody could do.
And the stakes are so much higher now because compared to then, right? You could go say something really fucking stupid in the town square, and if it got you ostracized, you just moved to another city and they didn't even know who you were. Now it's like, who are you? How do you spell your name? Google. And start flipping through. If I want to find something out about somebody, right? And you taught me I don't know. I would say you taught me this, but it was you asked me to. Anytime I Google something to look it up, also Google the same version of that with the word scam at the end of it. And that is an illuminating process.
It's fun too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's very fun.
Yeah,
because I never considered that. Right? I mean, I not that I believe everything I see on the internet. A lot of the shit I look at and go, well, that's stupid. That's not the point. But when you take that same thing and you sort of and you put that definition on the end of it in Google, man, that trip can be really fun. Experts who spoke to Wired said that groups spreading propaganda on social media are likely too organized and nimble to be stopped by overworked fact checkers.
Yeah, see,
this is true.
Just can't do it.
You can't do it. Quote, Facebook did not ever scale the fact-checking program on Facebook to be able to reach all users.
Scale.
Right. And all information on Facebook. Robin Kaplan, a Rutgers University social media governance expert, told Wired. How do you get a degree in that?
I don't know.
Right, you know what I mean? Like, that's fucking...
I kept it simple.
I'm an expert. Says who? Quote, I'm not quite certain how they're going to scale to Instagram effectively.
But they're going to need to. I don't know how. I'm the specialist. I don't know how.
See,
but they're going to have to do it.
Here's the interesting thing. This is the collision of old media and new media. Because old media has to abide by these things like the FCC. Yeah. They have to. All right. And new media thinks that it's different.
Such as us.
Well, we're new media, for sure.
And there's nobody policing us. There's no FCC.
At all. No FCC. We can say whatever we want. We could be as ridiculous or as inflammatory as we wanted. Yeah, it's totally up. This is Radio Free Europe. So what I'm seeing happening in things like Congress and stuff is that platforms like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, which is part of Facebook, but all these large social media platforms are ultimately going to end up having to play by some of the same rules that FCC authorized broadcasters, including us, is going to have to deal with. Right?
I refuse. I was listening to an NPR program.
Are you going to rebel? You rebel.
Yeah, I'm going to rebel. And they were talking about people who did that job of policing the social media, and they were talking about how depressed these people were and how difficult it was for them to continue to show up for work and see all this imagery.
Well, the people that do the content censoring, that censor out all the fucking heinous shit that people try to post on social media, those fuckers have like PTSD. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I say fuckers in a very compassionate way here.
Those poor bastards.
Those poor people, man, have to, like, it's messing these people up, dude, having to go.
Yeah.
Like, some of the heinous shit that people actually post on social media, and they have to go in and go, oh, that's flagged, and then they got to open it and look at it and go, oh my God.
And apparently they're pretty much flipping through stuff, and so it's like
all kinds of
it's like not so bad, not so bad, not so bad, shouldn't be on, shouldn't be, and then something horrible that you just can't get out of your head.
I mean, this is,
and that's the current policing. Like that's not,
where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, so that's probably part of what she means when she's like, I don't know how they're going to do it. You know, they need some like more robots or better algorithms or algorithms.
It's a quandary, and I think this is a weirdly binary thing, man, where your choices are either no policing at all, or
government
regulation. And it's like, because here's the thing. Let me explain this, right? So if Facebook suddenly has to start adhering to the same rules as, say, like NBC or ABC or CBS or whatever, okay, you will have to start paying for Facebook. Like, it will be something you will have to pay to subscribe to. And I mean that because the amount of people and infrastructure they are going to have to build to try to make their social network somehow now fit inside every post, everything Uncle Johnny says, no matter how drunk he is on a Saturday night, it all has to fit within the FCC guidelines, man. You could forget it. Like, there is no profit model there, regardless of how many advertisements they sell to political organizations.
Pour out your Tor browsers and get on the dark web.
Well,
that's all that will be left.
So, and that's the thing, right? That's what I mean. Like, this strangely seems to be pointing out that there's really no way that you can police speech. You can't.
Yeah, they'll just drive it underground into the dark web.
Well, and because there's been a bunch of I'm going to say this wrong because I don't know a lot about it, but like the 4chan type, they've been going in and whacking entire groups and things and websites and shutting them down completely. Yeah. And like you said, it's not like that these people are no longer going to communicate.
4chan is silly. 4chan was like a portal to the dark web in a metaphoric sense, right?
Okay.
So, like,
I don't know a lot about it. So.
Well, I mean, if they're shutting it down, it's like shutting down a portal.
No. I don't think. Okay. Again, maybe they did shut down entirely. 4chan,
well, I mean, if they're closing off certain parts or taking off things, then they're kind of mending it up, right? Making it more legitimate,
right?
And that was one. That was one of those like weird nexus places where it was still. A lot of people was on it. It was hard to police. It was just like one of those portals that could lead to other places and stuff. And probably they'll drive things further underground.
There's this whole thing like the dark web, right? That there's this place even in cyberspace where you can go, and it's sort of like the black market. It's sort of like this weird, unregulated space.
Aphex Twin released an album, and you could only get it on the dark web.
Yeah, it's a strange cat. Jeez. Yeah, check that. How do you spell that?
Oh, it's like
APH. Yeah, Aphex Twin.
FAX.
That's
I think.
Some trippy mushrooms taking bullshit going on there, man.
It's pretty bizarre.
Damn. I'm like, first time you showed that to me, I was like, "What the fuck am I watching here?" This one comes from.
You start talking about Window Liquor, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Either that or Rubber Johnny.
Well, Window Liquor was the one in the stretch limousine, right? Yeah, that's the one. Not that I haven't gone back and watched it since.
No, it's interesting.
It's out there.
You just got to take it in a little bit at a time.
Wow. This comes from Maxim.com. Nate Diaz wants to defend baddest man in the UFC belt against Jorge Masvidal.
Oh, that sounds challenging.
Well, there was just a big fight. Nate Diaz just came back and had a great big fight. This is for all my BJJ UFC people, right? So he had this big fight, and I found it fascinating. Not only did he come back after having been gone from the UFC for quite a while, but then to come back and basically say, everybody else is a bitch except for me and Jorge Masvidal. We're the only two fucking real fighters in the entire UFC, and we're the ones that should be fighting, Like, it's just the stones on this dude. Do you know anything about the Diaz brothers?
No.
Nick and Nate Diaz? You should check. I'm not going to go in great detail here, man, but
I was watching boxing earlier, like for a while.
Yeah, these guys are fucking nuts. Like, they're legitimate. They live, breathe, eat, and die nothing but fighting. It seems like that's what these are dedicated. These guys are crazy.
Wow.
But they're fascinating to watch. Like, I don't think they're bad people.
No.
They're just fascinating to watch. In Nate Diaz's mind, new UFC heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic wasn't the only man to walk out of Anaheim's Honda Center on Saturday night with a title. Following his dominant welterweight win over Anthony Pettis in UFC 241's co-main event, the Stockton, California-bred MMA veteran led claim to the UFC's baddest motherfucker belt at the event post-fights press conference. And I'm not sure he's wrong. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. Like, that's what intrigues me about it. I mean, a lot of people talk shit, blah, 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 whatever. These guys are different, man, and that's sort of the mystique about him and his brother. Quote, Pettis just knocked out Stephen Thompson, who just fought for the 170 title a bunch of times. He fights Pettis, and Pettis knocks his ass out real quick. Diaz went to describe Jorge Masvidal as the other top contender in the welterweight division, citing Masvidal's record-setting 5-second knockout of Ben Askren.
That's pretty quick.
Fucking dude, it was like ding, ding, done. I can't believe I haven't shown you this shit yet, man.
No,
like, this is
how
nuts.
many fights has he done since he came back? Is it 2?
No,
or
this
more?
is his first fight back.
One.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Nate Diaz.
Sounds like there's 1 or 2. So, but it's just been one that he's had.
This one.
Okay,
yeah.
so you can send me that, right?
Yeah, it was the most recent UFC.
Okay.
Okay. Quote, who's the real badass dude in the 170 division? They're trying to pump up this dude, Ben Askren, who got knocked out in 5 seconds. And Masvidal goes in there and knocks his ass out. He's been in here since I started fighting back in 2004, I think. So these guys have both been in the league forever, kind of thing. So there's a big comeuppance kind of thing here where it's like we're not getting the fucking respect we deserve, which is really interesting because he just comes back to the UFC and then he's like, this is all a bunch of rigged bullshit. You know? It's like, well, welcome back, man. Quote, I think he had been there a little longer and he just did that to Askren. Knocking him out in 5 seconds, and I just did that to Pettis. So that's the best fighter to me, the best martial artist who is still on top of the game. No one's showing any acknowledgement for being the best fighter in the world, which I am, just like Masvidal. I'm the best martial artist, Diaz continued. So this is setting up like a huge fucking showdown. And this dude is so unpredictable. Both of these guys, bro, are fucking feral. Like I've seen interviews with Masvidal and stuff, and these guys are both just beasts, just feral animals. So I cannot wait to see the two of these guys put in a ring together.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I'd like to see that.
It's kind of cool because he's sort of calling a spade here, and he's like, look, let's stop pussyfooting around here and these show fights and these, people that are, this is a lot of put on. This is a lot of showbiz. Let's get down to the real fucking pit fighters and, the killers, and let's put them in a ring, see what the fuck happens. And dude, he ain't wrong. Oh, I would piss myself if that man was ever pissed at me, dude. I'd be like, whatever I need to do, Nate.
Yeah, right. I can't outrun you. I can't outfight you.
There's YouTube videos of him taking someone out of context, and the person. I don't want to get into too many details. I can show it to you after because I don't want to name names. But this dude's he's one of those guys that's like bullshit's bullshit. And if it's bullshit, I'm going to slap the fuck out of you. Like he can turn on you that quick, and that kind of person's just a really, really interesting person. Not that he's bad or that, but if he ever thinks you're fucking taking something from him, you got to get punched in the mouth.
Right.
It's very honest work. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't think they're bad people, but if they think they're being fucked by you, you're getting smacked.
Yeah.
I thought this one was interesting. This is another one of those Ohio articles.
Okay.
Do you know that when people I don't know that you don't watch a lot of football and pro sports, but
I've never seen a game in my life in its entirety, not in my real life nor on TV.
I'll take you to Nirvana. I'll let you watch a Patriots game with me this season. By the way, once you've seen that, you don't need to watch anything else. You've seen everything. Okay.
Okay.
So it doesn't get any better. Anyway, anytime you watch a pro sports event, anytime the athletes announce, because at the beginning of the game they'll say, this is, Joe Schmuckatelli, and he'll say, I'm Joe Schmuckatelli, and he'll say what college or university he's from. So Ohio State University athletes, this is when I became exposed to this, have this way of saying, they don't say like Iowa State or Florida State, they say the Ohio or the Ohio State University. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's like this whole thing. It's only Ohio State alum that do this.
Okay.
So it's this weird sort of distinction.
Okay.
Just leave it at that. Okay, so this comes from Mental Floss. As any good Ohioan knows, there's a big difference between an Ohio State University and the Ohio State University. Now, you're an Ohio University grad already.
Ohio University, yeah.
Yeah. And you didn't know this. This is the world we live in, man. But with countless other public colleges across the state, including the similarly named Ohio University.
Now, wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
I'm Ohio University.
That's you.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. It's not hard for out-of-towners or prospective students to get confused. To further distinguish themselves from other institutions and to capitalize on merchandise opportunities, no doubt, the Ohio State University is pursuing a trademark for the in its name.
Gosh.
Okay, you're an Ohio resident.
Mm-hmm.
First glance, first opinion.
I didn't know what the hell you were talking about. I wasn't sure you were making a distinction, or if you. I wasn't even making a distinction at first, other than that I thought that it was some kind of distinction for one college.
But you understand what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
I do now.
Okay, so how does this come off to you?
It sounds like they're trying to rip off Ohio University and their name or their.
It doesn't sound. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, it sounds like they're trying to capitalize on somebody else's.
Well, what they're saying is they're doing this as a distinction to define between Ohio University and Ohio State University.
Well, I don't know if I would buy that or not, though.
That's what they're saying.
Okay, so how would you feel if I was to change my name to the Matt Frazier? You know what I mean? Like,
I'd be like, well, the podcast is over.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, it just. Would you think I was
soon?
Right, but would you think I was trying to distinguish myself from you and make it clear that there's a delineation between you and me, or would you think I was trying to step onto your clout cloud?
Well, okay, so let me ask you this. You're an alum of Ohio University. Why do you think that Ohio University is the one whose clout's being stepped on and not the Ohio State University? Maybe it's their clout that they're trying to distinguish.
I just don't know.
Is this fucking pompous as shit, or is it just me? Like, this comes off as totally arrogant to me, man. Like, I get no. Okay, so I'm cool with I think it's fucking cool as shit when the athletes are like, fucking bitch, the Ohio State University. I want to be on record as saying that. This fucks me up, man. Like, this is weird for me.
Yeah.
But they're actually trying to trademark that.
Yeah, I think if they wanted to distinguish themselves, they should name themselves something
This
different.
isn't a point of pride anymore. This is a fucking trademark. This is a different thing now. Like, this has become a capitalizable type item. That's not pride anymore. That's weird,
because they're
right?
wanting to do it to sell merchandise.
Exactly.
You said, right, and things of that nature.
Exactly. Why else would you trademark something? Okay, there's no need to otherwise, unless you're going to try to make sure you have exclusive profitability off of that.
Yeah.
So all of these people that have had pride in this university have gone out and made sure to make that distinction. Okay, and now the university then comes in and goes, "We're going to fucking trademark that shit," right? And it's to me, that just kills it. That's not pride anymore. That's something else.
Students the one that started that?
I don't think the university went, hey, here's your diploma, and from now on, when you mention
changing our name.
yeah, you have to say this.
Huh.
It's one of those things that was born out of a nexus of pride amongst the student and wanting to.
If it started that way, then I wouldn't suspect that they were trying to rip off Ohio University. If they did it because of pride or something, then I guess, I mean, ultimately it was still bent into something that's less than
it's
pride.
It's a weird, but on the backside of that, it is a weird sort of arrogance. So let's walk through this conversation. So I'm reading your resume. Yeah, very interesting, Dr. Jones. Ohio University? No, the Ohio State University. Oh, I'm sorry. Because, most colleges, the state college is just named after the state. So it's an honest mistake. I didn't mean to insult you. Yeah, well, it's the Ohio State University.
I wonder what kind of curriculum they
Not
have.
Ohio University, not them Bobcat motherfuckers.
No.
Not them.
No, and not the Ohio State University either.
Okay. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that always seemed a little weird to me. But I get, hey, you're on a football team. You got to have a bit of a chip or pro sports team. There's a chip on your shoulder kind of thing. So that I always was like,
I think that to the average person going to a school, they feel pride in it. I think that that's kind of like the basis of nationalism, that people in groups that are, segmented and self-contained end up having pride in themselves,
Totally get that. It's just tribalism, right? That's just another form of it. But then when you trademark it so that there's profitability,
that's capitalism.
That's
not tribalism.
That's a whole. It's like, okay, this ain't tribalism anymore, man.
This is capitalism.
Well, I shouldn't even say that, because there's definitely fashion. There's definitely tribalism amongst fashion too.
Well, yeah, but that's not why these guys are.
No. According to Smithsonian.com, trademark lawyer Josh Gerben first broke the news on Twitter, where he shared a short video that included the trademark application itself, as well as examples of how the university plans to use the word on apparel.
Look, a T-shirt. Look, a coffee cup.
One is a white hat emblazoned with the red "the," and the other is a red scoop-necked T-shirt with a white "the," all in caps, and the Ohio State logo beneath it. Gerben predicts that the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office will initially deny the trademark request on the basis that those examples are not sufficient trademark use, but the university would have an opportunity to try again. I'm not disturbed. Look, I don't think they're going to be successful.
I don't know how they're going to try again. Would they substitute the word "the" for?
I'm disturbed that a university, which is supposed to be these places of bastion of learning and free speech and all this fucking bullshit that they talk about all the time, right, is trying to trademark the word "the."
Yeah.
Like, huh?
I wonder what their curriculum is.
Huh?
I wonder what they offer, like what sort of degrees they offer, what their curriculum supports.
Ohio State University?
The Ohio State
Pretty much
University.
Anything.
Really?
Full disclosure, my kid looked
okay, I'm just curious. Yeah. I've never heard of it.
The Columbus Dispatch reports, you've never heard of the Ohio State University?
No.
Fucking cave, bro. Okay. The Columbus Dispatch reports that university spokesperson Chris Davey, remember that name, confirmed the trademark application, saying that, quote, Ohio State works to vigorously protect the university's brand and trademarks. Wonder where they get their money from. He's not exaggerating. The university has secured trademarks for legendary coaches Urban Meyer and Woody Hayes, plus more than 150 trademarks and pending applications across an impressive 17 countries.
Wow.
Remember, these athletes don't get paid. The school's 2017 request to trademark the initials OSU provoked an objection from Oklahoma State University, which is also known as OSU.
Yeah, because Ohio University is just OU.
The real one, right?
Yeah.
But the two schools eventually decided that they could both use it as long as each refrained from producing clothing or content that could cause confusion about which school was being referenced. So they decided to divvy up that acronym. No, what's that called?
Just name?
No, the
title.
3-letter, anytime you use, anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Abbreviation. For OSU, they've divvied that up amongst themselves. But if you're like the Oscar Society of Utah or whatever, you're fucked, right?
Yeah, well, you ain't going to get no trademark. It's going to be a small group of people.
The Ohio State University, perhaps most famous for its marching band, public research endeavors, and legendary athletic teams, ding, 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 moolah, moolah, is not impervious to social media mockery, however. Ohio University responded with this. Good morning from the first university in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, it was a university before Ohio was a state. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Yeah.
So you guys are like the Ivy League. We've been around for fucking ever, Benjamin.
Yeah, longer than Ohio.
I wonder what Ohio University calls their version of Skull and Bones. Okay, they wouldn't have one. It's a state university, so never mind. And the University of Michigan, OSU's longtime sports rival, suggested that it should trademark OMF. However, of Michigan, see, of M. However bizarre this trademark may seem, it's far from the weirdest request the Patent and Trademark Office has ever received. I'm sure it is. Good God. I find this to be exclusive in a manner that's not befitting the alumni of the university. I don't think that was the intention of the alumni of the university. Maybe I'm wrong. I
don't know.
Yikes.
That's funny.
So meanwhile, in Ohio, crocodiles, and we're going to fucking trademark the word the. Welcome to fucking Ohio, people. We're like, there's Florida man, and I think just like one or two steps above that maybe is Ohio man. Somewhere. If you don't believe me, just go to our Walmarts. You'll believe me. This is kind of cool because this kind of befits the whole conversations we're constantly having about things like social media and their impact on society. This comes from The Verge. YouTube sues alleged copyright troll over extortion of multiple YouTube users. I didn't even know you could do this. Like, this is a whole new level of like extortion and crime that I couldn't even.
So what do you do?
Well, it's going to tell us.
Okay.
I hope.
Okay.
YouTube is going after an alleged copyright troll using the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, or DMCA, provisions, alleging that Christopher Brady used false copyright strikes to extort YouTube creators, harming the company in the process. Now, YouTube is suing Brady using the DMCA's provisions against fraudulent takedown claims, seeking compensatory damages and an injunction against future fraudulent claims.
That sounds very serious.
Well, basically what they're saying is that, okay, so this whole concept of community policing has never had any teeth. It's never had any repercussions. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I think this is prudent. Because this is the first instance where someone I'm guessing, has used the power of community policing to reach a specific desired ends. And now, because it wasn't necessarily accurate or whatever, they were just bullying people by having a lot of people that can also click no. Now it's like, okay, you can do that, but now your ass is going to get sued.
What is copyright strikes to copyright strikes? Like,
to extort YouTube creators. So what they do is that they'll get okay, so there's all kinds of ways that this works, but this is one of the ways I understand that it works, okay? So I don't want to say this is the only way. So let's say that you are a content provider and you are going along and you're creating your channel and everything's fucking fat, dumb, and happy. And then this jack-off comes along and says, basically, I can generate 100 copyright strikes against your YouTube video unless you give us money. That would be a form of extortion. Now, I'm not sure that's exactly what's going on here, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just because he's got this weird mafia of people that follow him that will do whatever he says to do, then, okay, so that's an extreme example. But we see this now happening at lots of nuanced levels where, okay, so I've put up some opinion that's politically volatile. So then what the other side does, rather than, and I haven't actually violated any of the terms of service bylaws or whatever when you sign up for these fucking places. Like, I haven't done anything technically wrong, but if the other guys, if the other side, the other tribe can get enough people to come and fucking vote my shit as violation of copyright, then I can get your video taken down and nobody sees it.
Yeah.
So then you start there's like these weird bands of social media vigilantes for their own ideology out running around doing this shit, and it's fucking everything up, right?
Gotcha.
So now what they're saying is you can do that. However, we can sue you for doing it. And if we sue you, you could be fine. I'm guessing under these new laws, you could be liable for financial ramifications for doing it. So that's teeth into the other side that's getting hammered this way, As long as they obey the rules, their shit shouldn't be taken down, no matter how much it pisses you off. Kind of thing. The lawsuit, first spotted by Adweek reporter Shoshona Wodinsky, I can't believe I pulled that one off, alleges that Brady sent multiple complaints claiming that a couple of Minecraft gaming YouTubers, Kenzo and Obi Raids, infringed on his copyrighted material in January. Their legal names were not listed in the lawsuit. YouTube removed the videos that Brady claimed were infringing on his copyrighted material, as the company does whenever a claim is submitted. Okay, so this dude he's got a competing, this is what I'm gathering now, he's got like a competing website, and so they're the ones that are getting the views, so he's going out and hammering them with this shit so that their videos get taken down and he gets the views.
Yeah.
Like he's using it as a way to take on his competition. Obi Raids was sent a message from Brady, according to the lawsuit, that stated if the YouTuber didn't pay Brady $150 via PayPal or $75 in Bitcoin, he would issue a third copyright strike. This would essentially terminate Obi Raids' channel and remove all of his videos from the platform. See, that's the other side of doing this. There's people that make a living doing this shit now, and some jackoff can just come along and be like, and shut your whole, like, you're done. You don't work anymore. You make no money. You're done. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Kenzo was sent a similar message, but Brady requested $300. Obi Raids spoke about the situation in a video, noting that he made multiple attempts to get in touch with someone at YouTube, but didn't make any progress. The monolithic entity doesn't respond.
No, and one last gasping breath is made.
Yeah. Well, now that there's lawyers and lawsuits involved, they'll start paying attention.
Yeah, they will.
Quote, Brady has submitted these notices as part of a scheme to harass and extort money from the users that he falsely accuses of infringement, the lawsuit reads. It wasn't until Obi Raids and Kenzo spoke about the alleged extortion on their individual YouTube channels that YouTube's team learned about the issue. Read that is bullshit. Still, the company alleges that Brady continued to go after members of the YouTube gaming community. He allegedly sent 4 copyright takedown notices to YouTube between January 29th and July 3rd, stating that the YouTuber, there's not a vowel in that name, infringed on his content. So now we're getting the lawyers involved.
Well, things are getting serious. It's not good because that's extortion.
Extortion's extortion.
Yeah.
Well, the laws just haven't kind of caught up with it yet, but at the end of the day, by definition, it's the same fucking thing, right?
There's somebody trying to extort me on Steam. Not so long ago, they were trying to get me to give them access to something. I can't remember what it was. And they kept threatening me with shutting me down or something like that. And like I would go along long enough to figure out what it was they were trying to get me to do.
Okay.
And then I would act really stupid. Like I couldn't figure out what they were saying.
What they were talking about.
Right. So they would
just to infuriate the fuck out of them, huh?
Yeah, and they just kept texting me trying to explain how to do this particular thing in Steam that they wanted me to do, right? And then I started kind of backpedaling, right? And they started threatening me again. And on the last threat, I literally said that I don't think that you could threaten a hooker out of her clothes if you had $100 in your pocket, I said. And it was the last thing I ever seen. Like, he never replied back.
You fucking trolled the troll is what you did there. You embarrassed him so bad, he's like, I ain't talking to this motherfucker anymore.
I'm not going to do what he's asking.
You know, there's like a professional comedian that does TED Talks and shit that does that.
Really?
Like, he answers those emails.
Oh, yeah, they're fun.
Oh, my God.
I had like a random caller, and my goal for a couple of years was when a telemarketer would call, my goal was to see how long I could keep them on the phone. You've seen me do that a couple of times.
Like wasting their time, yeah.
Yeah, just to keep talking with them as long as I can. Whatever it is, asking about product, just, talking, which is a natural gift for me anyway. And, you know what I mean? And I had a dude on the phone for over 45 minutes.
Is that your personal record?
That's my personal
record.
record.
Before they figure out what you're fucking doing to them?
Before they're getting the stink eye from the manager on duty at wherever they're at.
You are not closing this deal, buddy.
No, not at all. You've been on the phone way too long. Like, they don't do a great job monitoring, but they'll eventually come over generally and shut somebody down if they're just goofing off because they want them to take more calls,
When my son was little, I had a telemarketer call the house. This is when we had house phones, right? He called the house. They called the house. And I was like, they were like, man, they go through their spiel. I go, hang on a minute. And I just handed the phone to my kid and just walked away. And it was Spider-Man and all. And they hung up on him eventually. I'm like, you bastard. I'm never buying your product. You hung up on my kid.
My first tactic is to ask them everything I can think of about whatever it is they're talking about. Unless it's something halfway legitimate, like a organization asking for donations or something, I don't begrudge them or nothing. But just when salespeople, are calling up and my favorite, I did one at the office one day. This Indian dude called up, right, and I had it on speaker, and it was so funny. He was telling me that my operating system was going to be shut down because of some website that I had been to, and that I could pay them $400 and they would be able to keep it on, right? And I'm like, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, but I want to keep it on, man. I want to keep it on, and
I can't afford to have my operating system shut down.
Yeah,
dude. That would like ruin everything. Like,
yeah, I got to keep that on, man. We can't shut it down and stuff. And we had this long conversation about how I could keep it on, and
right,
and it was such like he's like asking me about it. I'm like, yeah, that's a great deal, man. You guys can like just kind of protect it for like $400 a month, and
a month.
Yeah, it was something crazy
Holy
like that.
Shit.
And I asked him questions, and I wasn't even sure how to answer.
Salivating on the other side. Like,
no, he acted confused at one point, like he couldn't believe the amount of interest and enthusiasm I had about it, and he kind of got skeptical.
Yeah, because he was on like page 12 of the script, and he'd never seen that fucking page before.
Never.
He's like, I don't know what to fucking do now.
I'm just lost. This guy's ready to, But it was weird, man. But then I'm like, oh no, you know what, man? I don't have a computer anymore.
Like it's gone.
Busted last night.
That's a big fuck. There's a lot of like municipalities and stuff that are paying these ransoms, hospitals and different shit because it's called ransomware. It's a legit thing. It's crazy. Like, and they end up having to pay these ransoms or they lose all their data. Patient data, business data, customer databases, they get hijacked. So it's kind of interesting that this guy was assuming that you would believe that. Like you did? All right, I'll just turn it off.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
That's cool.
I was thinking about reading a book tonight anyway.
Who needs the interwebs?
Yeah.
I don't need that shit. It's just frustration and craziness anyway.
Like, what kind of coffee do you like?
Me?
No, I'd be like asking a question like that, and they'd be like,
this dude that I'll show you after the show. But this guy goes on, and he had this whole conversation with the guy that was it was about a bank account, but he kept telling him, well, I get the free toaster. And the guy's like, there is no toaster. Stop bringing up the toaster. And he's like, there's no toaster promo. So the guy actually went and found an ad from the bank, the real bank that had like open account, get a toaster, kind of thing. So he like shared it back. He's like, well, what's this? He just kept stringing this guy on and on and on. Somebody texted him one time, thought he was the landlord of his building, and he told the guy, I'm not your landlord, right? He's like, that's not me. I'm sorry, you have the wrong number. And the guy like got belligerent with him, so he was like, fuck it, I'm your landlord. And then just starts the guy had a problem. Like his bathroom was too hot in his apartment or something like that. So he starts sending him all these wild ass things about how they're going to blow out this wall. They're going to do all this crazy shit, Finally, he's like, I told you I'm not your landlord. Oh, too easy, Mr. Smith, too easy. Have you ever heard the term brownie points?
I have.
You have? Have you ever wondered where that term comes from?
No.
Me neither until I saw this article. This comes from Mental Floss again.
I've wondered many a thing, but I have never wandered the way of that wonder.
Ever?
Never, ever.
I find that fascinating about you. Like, I can't hardly believe that. Because you're the kind of guy that would be like, well, back in 1927, Matt, what happened was during the Battle of Tippecanoe, in a Los Angeles Times column published on March 15th, 1951, writer Marvin Miles observed a peculiar phrase spreading throughout his circle of friends and the social scene at large. While standing in an elevator, he overheard the man next to him lamenting, quote, lost brownie points. Later, in a bar, a friend of Miles who had stayed out too late, there was alcohol involved, Mr. Smith, said he would never, quote, catch up on his brownie points. Miles was perplexed. Quote, what esoteric cult was this? It's a cult. That immersed men in pixie mathematics, he wrote. It was, his colleagues explained, a way of keeping score with their spouses, of tallying the goodwill they had accrued with the little woman. Over the decades, the phrase brownie points has become synonymous with currying favor. You get brownies when you do shit right?
So it's in the 50s or?
I'm guessing it goes way back. Yeah, it's got to go back to like real nuclear family, traditional gender models and shit. Which doesn't surprise me, right? I mean, Miles was perplexed. Okay, I already read that part. Over the decades, the phrase brownie points has become synonymous with currying favor, often with authority figures such as teachers or employers. So where exactly did the term come from, and what happens when you, quote, earn them? The most pervasive explanation is that the phrase originated with the Brownies, a subsect of the cult of Girl Scouts. I put that in there.
I disagree.
Well, we'll get your opinion here. Who were encouraged to perform good deeds in their communities. The Brownies were often too young to be official Girl Scouts and were sometimes the siblings of older members. Originally called Rosebuds in the UK, they were renamed Brownies when the first troops were being organized in 1916. Gives you an idea.
Yeah.
Sir Robert Baden-Powell, who had formed the Boy Scouts and was asked to name the new Girl Scout division, dubbed them Brownies after the magical creatures of Scottish folklore that materialized to selflessly help with household chores. I was thinking totally little chocolatey moist cakes.
I just love how in 1916, like, that was just common knowledge to people. Oh yeah, the mythological creatures, brownies that appear out of nowhere. Okay,
yeah, totally didn't get that right. Yeah, I missed that one. But the brownies are not the only potential source, and then maybe this one agrees with you, Mr. Smith. In the 1930s, kids who signed up to deliver magazines like the Saturday Evening Post and Ladies' Home Journal from Curtis Publishing were eligible for vouchers labeled greenies and brownies that they could redeem for merchandise. They were not explicitly dubbed brownie points, but it's not hard to imagine kids applying a point system to the brownies they earn.
Now that strikes a chord with me.
You think that's legit?
I do. I like that. I like it, esoterically at least.
From your Gray Wizard of historical knowledge type vantage point, that one makes more sense to you. Or am I putting too much butter on the bread here, Bubba?
No, I mean, no. It does make more sense to me because the first one is delineated by good deeds that these kids that were called brownies were doing in the community, right?
Right.
Okay, and the second is based on capitalism,
some sort of compensation system.
Where people are striving to get more points.
So that seems more humanistic to you, like more legit.
It's more likely, yeah. It just seems like I can imagine a neighborhood full of kids using this nomenclature to describe what they're doing and it being picked up on by other people.
Right. It makes sense. Like at least there's like a paper trail to something like that, right? The term could have also been the result of a wartime rationing in the 1940s where red and brown ration points could be redeemed for meats. So that probably rings sort of.
That would work too. Yeah. The combination of that.
Or like an amalgamation. Like there was all of these things that sort of just became.
Or at least the last two.
A lexiconic.
Yeah. I don't like that first one.
The first one seems a little flaky.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine. I've never heard of a group of brownies as physical people having an impact on the neighborhood where someone in that neighborhood told me, hey, man, The brownies did that. It was, you know what I mean? Like I haven't came across any. I mean, I'm sure it has happened. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that doesn't seem as prevalent as people collecting stamps or collecting points or There's been a lot of that, and it seems like this is a terminology that has applied readily to that, at least in a couple of instances with these kids and the paper, and then later on these people getting meat,
like rationing points, from the war and that kind of stuff. And I've heard this kind of shit too about like the term "the whole 9 yards." Like I've heard that it's got a basis in how much material there is in a Scottish kilt. All right, 9 yards. Okay, I get that, and I guess that's true.
Okay,
but then I've also heard it about it is the length of the belt of ammunition that you put in the wing guns of like fighter jets in World War II. So the term, gave him the whole 9 yards was that when you came back and you were out of ammunition, like you came back because you didn't have more bullets, like you gave it all to the bad guys, kind of thing. And I don't know which one of those is more accurate.
Well, a lot of things were popularized in World War II, but they originally came from somewhere.
Somewhere else.
Yes, it's possible that phrase did come from Scotland and was reinterpreted in World War II because of some similarity in the length of the belts.
So, like some level, both of those are kind of could possibly be true, and that they could have an attachment to each other in a sort of invigorating of that idea in the culture because of this new thing that they can attach it to. Right? Yeah. I never thought about it like that. See, man, you're just breaking ground here, bro.
Yay.
The phrase didn't really seem to pick up steam until Miles's column was published. In this context, the married men speaking to Miles believed brownie points could be collected by husbands who remembered birthdays and anniversaries, stopped to pick up the dry cleaning, mailed letters, and didn't spend long nights in pubs speaking to newspaper columnists. The goal, these husbands explained, was never to get ahead. They merely wanted to be considered somewhat respectable in the eyes of their wives.
So isn't that a reinterpretation where if the original name for brownies was either tickets or Cub Scouts, mythological Cub Scouts, that these guys have reinterpreted it into tasty treats that their wives might make them for doing these deeds?
Right. No, and I get that. I totally get that. Like, that makes sense to me. Like, okay, it's I'm going to get brownies. Yay. My understanding of what this term is completely different from any of the ones proposed here. My experience with this term.
Oh, yeah?
Brownie points is for that motherfucker that's always got his nose stuffed up the boss's ass.
Oh, yeah, there's another reinterpretation.
Right? That's the way I always interpreted it, right? That was he's getting a brown nose because he's got his nose so far up. And that's maybe a militaristic, like maybe I got that in the military, so it could be a little warped as things are in the military, but that's the way I sort of always interpreted that phrase. But but then when I'm hearing like, oh, it's honey, you do the honeydew list, and then the honey makes you some brownies. Like I'm like, oh, that's so innocent and sweet, or whatever. When it comes down to that kind of stuff. But
damn it, Pillsbury.
Later, possibly as a result of its usage in print, grade school students took to the phrase to mean an unnecessary devotion to teachers in order to win them over. That's what I'm saying.
Brown nosing.
Yeah. At a family and faculty meeting in Leon High in Tallahassee, Florida in 1956, earning brownie points was said to be a serious problem.
There's a lot of kiss ass going on around here.
Also called apple polishing. The old apple polisher.
What's being polished?
The apples.
I see.
It prompted other students in class to shame their peers for being friendly to teachers. As a result, some were, quote, reluctant to be civil for fear they would be harassed for sucking up. That's the interpretation I have of it. In the decades since that time, the idiom has become attached to any act where goodwill can be expected in return, particularly if it's from someone in a position to reward the act with good grades or a promotion. As for Miles, the columnist declared his understanding of brownie points came only after a long night of investigation. Arriving home late, he said, rendered him pointless.
Yeah.
She's pissed. Where the fuck you been? Who goes to the pub? That's got to be from the UK.
I don't know. I was at the pub last night.
No, you were at the bar last night, dude. There's a big difference.
I was at the Cherry Street pub.
Jake Rosen. Let's go see where Jake Rosen's from. He's got to be from the UK.
Pubbing it.
Or he's, from the UK. Anyway, he's on like all kinds of shit. New York Times, ESPN, Wired. It doesn't say where he's from, though. But he's like writing about Wimbledon and shit, so I'm guessing he's probably from the UK. Here I'm judging the fuck out of this guy, right? Who the fuck are you, man?
He must be English.
How the fuck do you know about brownie points? It's our language. We hijacked it, god damn it. $1.50.
Oh, right. That's good.
That's not bad, huh?
No.
Since I pulled these articles together literally 15 minutes before he got here this time.
I know.
Not all of them. Actually, I had some of them lined up. But you sent me one of those.
Did I?
Yeah, I think it was the alien stock one.
Oh, probably. I thought so. I
think remember. You sent me. I really appreciate the people that are sending me articles. Generally, it's like, but man, I've been getting some really good ones. So I don't want people messaging me shit because it comes at the most inopportune times. But when they're cool articles, I have to put them on the show. Like when it's like, oh yeah, I can see us fucking talking about that. And it's just from the headlines. I mean, I barely read much past I barely read much past the first paragraph, and then for you don't even have a clue what we're going to talk about before.
No, I've occasionally come across some on my Facebook feed, but I don't have no idea if they're going to be here unless I send them to you. Well, and then sometimes I forget about them, and
it's fun, man. Like people were starting to regular. Oh, this is a fucked up article. Let me send this to Matt and Eric and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
You got anything else we need to cover, man? Was there anything else? I don't think so. I think we mentioned everything.
Well,
life, the universe, and everything. Anything? Nothing?
Oh, no. I gotta work on generating 15 characters tonight or tomorrow night.
That's right. You're running like some massive campaign for your fucking
friend,
your buddies, huh?
Yeah.
Still doing it. Still rolling them dice, man. Living it like hardcore. pen and fucking paper. No iPads. No shit, dude.
I'm ready for the electric to go out.
Candle and some,
that's it.
some dice and paper and pencils. That's all you need, dude. Yeah. So this is what we'll be doing during the final apocalypse.
Well, there was we went 7 days without electric a few years ago. There was a
bad ice storm or something.
No, it was in the middle of the summer. And something gave way, and it was a big deal, and it took them a while to replace it. Right? There's places that went longer, and it was a huge amount of area here. I think this is before you moved back,
right?
And it was hot. It was so hot, right? And it was so hot inside, and I was just lying in this chair by the back door because it was the only place there was a little breeze coming through, and it was so humid, and it'd been like 5 days. There'd been no electricity. People's stuff that was charged up had pretty much ran down. In the neighborhood kids, the kids that lived next door, their youngest kid, who's probably like, he might have been 13,
right?
Somewhere in that neighborhood. He had a axe, and he had a piece of wood. And he had it held between his legs, right? The piece of wood was long ways, and his legs were astride, and he was holding the piece of wood with the ankles, right? Pressing his legs against on it, and he's got the axe over his head, and he's hitting it.
Oh my God!
I know, and I'm sitting there just watching in my head his legs splitting open.
Room visit, yes,
right? Yeah, just waiting to happen. They played Xbox and stuff, right? And they were bored as fuck, dude. They were just trying to find something to do.
So let's paint this scene, right? So the electricity goes out, and then it's like all of these kids go outside, and then they have to learn everything they've missed because they've been sitting on Xbox, like how physics works, what not to do, which animals not to touch,
pretty much,
how to handle an axe, right? How to handle a knife, don't look down the barrel of a gun, like all of these things, like bam, it just drops on them because fucking Xbox is down.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're gonna get hurt because they're just so bored. And so I'm like, hey man, hey, come here. And he comes over, and I'm like, have you ever played D&D? And he's like, no. And I'm like, well, why don't you go get your brothers and a couple other people, and we'll game, man. And we gamed for like 3 or 4 days straight, and they'd never played before.
So they were playing and sleeping, and that was it,
pretty
right?
much. Yeah. They would come back over, and we would game, and I mean, it was like they were so enthralled,
right?
Because they were so starved for stimulus, and their imaginations were so active from having so much, right?
Right.
And you know, you could just spin a tale and paint a picture and tell a story.
And they just gobbled it up.
They gobbled it up, dude. They were totally. They were so depressed when the electric came back on.
That was my next question. Was like, okay, so what happened when the power came back?
Well,
on?
we ended up playing, but we regulated it, you know, to like every couple of weeks.
Okay.
And we played for a while until I moved out, and it just became impractical.
Right.
So.
It's fascinating. You get to see that sort of transformative moment when a child starts to actually use their imagination
or to realize that they don't need technology to use it. That they need very little to use that imagination.
Right. That creative power is just there all the time.
Yeah,
and you're just not used to using it because you just get dumped all of this.
And it's cooler than going to the emergency room because you hurt yourself with an axe.
Because you split your shin with a freaking axe.
Or your ankle or something terrible.
Oh, my God.
How did you get that splinter in your scrotum?
Yeah. I'll tell you, Bubba, it never ceases to amaze me, the stupid shit that people will do in the process of harming themselves. Like, how did you think that was a good idea? And then you do it yourself. Like, you have that brain slip where that split second, maybe you don't, but where me or a person has that split second thing where something happens and it's like, fuck, I could have just lost my fingers, man. Like, what the fuck was I thinking? I'm a guitar player, right? Or at least I consider myself one. And I was helping my landlord one time snake out a drain with a power snake. This is a plumbing thing that you rent. It's got a fucking motor on it. You know what I mean? Like, this is a thing. It does not give a shit about your fingers, right? And I was helping him feed, and I don't know anything about this shit, right, per se. I've never used one of these. I figured the bitch out because I read the directions on it after the incident. But I was helping him. He was like, you got to do this, you know, and he was like, you got to help feed this thing in and da-da-da-da. And it's basically got this lever that you flip the lever, and then it just feeds it in. But now the whole time this snake is spinning, and you put it down like a drain or you put it down something that's clogged, it's not working, okay? So he brings this thing over to my house, and he's like, help me do this. I'm like, okay. And he's like, you gotta like grab this thing and push it in. But it's spinning. So if you grab it with your hands and try to push it in, it just tears your hands up. So he's like, here, put these gloves on. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know why I got suckered into this shit, but so I'm feeding this thing in. I'm helping him feed this thing in. Well, what happened was the glove got tangled up in it, and it started to twist the glove up.
Oh, shit.
And it's my fucking fretting hand, my left hand, my guitar fretting hand. And I see this glove starting to wrap up, and I can't get the thing to stop. There's like a dead man switch. He's got his foot on it. Not me, him. Right? And I'm like, stop. So he like goes to grab for my hand instead of taking his fucking foot off the dead man switch. But I yank my hand away real quick, and I get it out of the glove right as it wraps the glove like completely up. And I looked at it, and I looked at him, and I went, I'm a fucking musician, man. Why am I doing this? And I threw my other glove down, and I'm like, it's all you, brother. I'm done. Like, I'm not doing this. But anyway, I kind of sympathize how people get there. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, man?
Well, you know, there was just one time that...
down another wormhole.
Yeah, sure, why not? There was
one time in band camp.
One time I was hanging out with my grandfather, and he told me to get down really low. We were going to put a barbed wire fence up, right? And we had all this barbed wire on a coil, right? And we just bought it, and he's like, all right, take these pliers, and you're small, right? You know, I was like 11 or 10 or something, and he's like, you got to get really low, though. When you clip it, you got to get out of the way and stay low, right? And I'm like, okay. because I've never seen this before.
Oh, you were cutting it off the spool.
Yeah, it was laying on its side. And
I know where this is going.
Right, and he gets the fuck back out of the way and hands me the things to cut the things, right?
The barbed wire with,
yeah, to start it off, right? And I'm like fucking pulling on it and stuff, and I'm struggling with it because I'm like 10 or 11, right? I've never even done this. I don't know what's going on.
So what you're talking about is there's a spool of barbed wire, and it has a band around it that's got it all tight on the spool.
Yeah,
right?
there was like these 3 staples that
you have to remove so that you can actually pull the wire off the spool itself.
Right, and 2 of them were at the bottom were just extra ones, sort of like, but the one at the top was like the last one, and that's where the spool started. And it was like tightly coiled around this, right? And I didn't realize what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I was struggling so hard with it that he got pissed off and he started to come in just when it snapped. And I ducked and crawled away, and it literally went over my head. You could hear, man. And it ended up just taking him out, man. Because he was pissed and he was coming over, and there were some tall weeds, and I look up and he's like all fucked up in the barbed wire and mad and shit, and then I'm like, well, I think I got it, I didn't know that was going to happen. And he was right. Like, I would have been fine, he should have told me, but I just never forget. Like, he got pissed off, and
there's so many levels of
God damn it, Eric.
First of all, is like the concept that it's like, here's this highly dangerous, permanently disfiguring thing. Let's give it to the 11-year-old to do right first.
That's safer that way,
And then when you do exactly what you're told, the irony, is it irony? Poetic justice of him coming over right when it busts loose.
Yeah, it's like, he's like, I can see out of my left eye as I scurried away. I can look it up, scurrying away, crawling away, and he's got both his arms up, and it looks like somehow it's got four coils around him. I don't even know how it looked geometrically possible.
This cartoonish fucking image of somebody getting caught in the coil spring in a giant clock kind of thing, like Tom and Jerry or something, just swang,
Like,
you got to experience. See, you got to experience that shit in real life.
You do, yeah. But when something's going to happen. You got like 30 seconds, maybe 20 or 30 seconds to stop it, and if you don't, it's going to lead somewhere that quick.
It's fucking amazing the stuff that our parents and caregivers were okay with us doing for them that we would never in a million years let our children do.
Nope.
My dad at one time, my grandparents had put in this gas fireplace, standalone gas fireplace in their living room, and they needed the gas line, but their house didn't have a basement, so it was just a foundation. So under the house was like a crawl space. It was very, very tight, and nobody fit but me at, I don't know, like I was 6 years old. Really little, but I can remember being so happy that my dad was proud of me that I could fit in this spot. So they had me crawl. So he tied a rope around my foot and let me crawl in this crawl space, basically with this gas line, taking it with me as I was going down the crawl space.
It's like he'd seen Poltergeist.
And then I can't remember if I had to bend it or if he bent it before I went in. But anyway, then I had to get to where the hole was for the fireplace. It was in the living room floor, and I had to poke it up through until they grabbed it. Like, that was our solution to getting the gas line ran. And at first I was like, why are you tying a rope around my foot? The reason he did that was in case I panicked in there and he had to drag my ass back out, right? But it's like, he's letting me get into a situation that's dangerous enough that he has to tie a rope around my foot in the name of putting a decorative gas fireplace in my grandparents' house.
Man, my grandparents had so many kids who had so many kids that by the time...
Yeah, we could lose a couple.
Yeah. Whatever. It was like, this is a spare one hanging out here anyway.
Fucking many of you.
They'll understand.
Maybe that's how it works, man. Because that's the way farms used to work, right? They had huge families that worked the farm. He lost a couple, whatever.
He was crazy, dude. He had chickens. like game chickens. He had about 600 chickens total.
Game? What's a game chicken?
You know,
like plays tic-tac-toe or something?
Yeah.
Or chickens you shoot at?
No, like the ones that they fight.
Okay, that was my next guess, but you are talking about Texas too, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
these are
1980, 1981, Texas, and it was actually illegal
game
there.
Chickens. I'm a sanitation engineer, not a trash
man. Hey man, that was the colloquial term that they used.
Right, that's how they made it sound better, right?
I guess, yeah, and it was still illegal in Texas in 1980. They had to go.
It still is.
To Idabel, Oklahoma. It's everywhere. Yeah, it is now. But then it wasn't. It wasn't in Oklahoma, and they would go there, and there's about 600 chickens all total. Not all of them game chickens, but there was like hens, a lot of hens and stuff. But there was a huge amount of game chickens, and I had to feed and water them and stuff when I got to and from school.
Right.
And there was occasions where. Well, he would set these big traps up on the end of 2x4s that he would nail to the fence corners because of owls.
Yeah, killing his birds.
Right.
Yeah, they swoop in like fucking artillery and bam.
Yeah. And then there was also people who would come up and cut through the back fence.
And steal his chickens?
Yeah, because they were worth a certain amount of money because they were game chickens. There were certain lineages and breeds and stuff that we had that was worth money.
Good Lord.
And there was times that we would sit out there and he had he would take one of those 2x4s that he had nailed to the fence post, and he put a light on it, and he turned the light so that a shadow was cast by the 2x4, right? The light was mounted on one side of the 2x4.
Okay.
And the light was turned away from us in the yard.
So it would cast a shadow out away from you.
Yeah, like like a cone shape,
yep.
Right? And when me and him would sit in lawn chairs with guns, waiting for people to show up on nights, and there was a couple of nights where we both shot at people.
You're shitting me.
No,
Coming to steal his chickens.
Yeah. And
so what was the purpose then of the way that the light was positioned, so that they couldn't see you?
Yeah, so that we were hiding in a shadow, so it kind of illuminated them and hid us.
It illuminated in front of you, but hid you in the shadow.
Yeah.
So when they would look up, they would see the bright light, but they wouldn't see you guys sitting there with guns looking right at them.
And it was also enticement too, because
dude, that is diabolical.
Well, it would also
man.
entice them because it would put light on the furthest point of our farm. So they would come up to the outskirts of the farm, and it would be well enough lit that they could get in there and cut through the fence real quick.
See what they were looking at, without turning a flashlight on.
Exactly, right? So it was kind of inviting. So it was also bait. It wasn't just that it hid us and illuminated them, but it acted as bait because he put it at a point to where it was at the end of the farm, right? So it looked like it was just a security light out there that we had rigged up and that there was no one around, right? But he's sitting in the fucking only shadow and a fucking lawn chair with guns, right?
That's nuts, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was a frequent thing, man.
How old were you when this was all going down?
10 and 11.
God, you're shooting at fucking human beings at 10 and 11 years old.
Yeah, that's what he told me I had to do.
That is messed up.
He made me go out there and sit with him, and I held the extra guns. And
do you think now when you were shooting at people, were you actually shooting at them, or were you just shooting so that he wouldn't?
I shot at him.
You shot, like you lined them up in the crosshairs and tried to put one in them.
Yeah, because they were pretty far away, and I don't think I hit anybody. They pretty much hightailed it out of there.
Not.
This was like 2 occasions that this happened, but he would beat the crap out of you if you didn't do what he told you to do. He would.
Oh, I'm not blaming you or casting aspersions. Yeah, I get it. Dude. It's like either that or I'm getting fucked up. Guess
pretty
what?
much, yeah. So if it's you or me, guess what?
If you're trying to steal something, you're sort of in the wrong, and I'm not getting my ass beat for your stupidity.
And it is a place called Powderly, Texas, in 1980. So
it just is what it was.
Yeah.
You know, I'd heard a lot. There was a dairy farm that I worked on in a lot of summers. I had this weird binary life where a lot of summers I spent on farms, but a lot of the school year and winters I spent in town. So I got both sort of like a city school experience plus the summers of actually working on a farm, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'd heard these stories where, like I said, I never personally experienced this, but I'd heard about it, where people would come in, dairy farmers, the dung piles, the shit, cow shit, is
good fertilizer.
No, it's apparently it grows psychedelic mushrooms. If the temperature conditions are right and the humidity conditions are right and different things, I guess. But that's what they grow in. Is it grows in cow patties, and that they would have problems with people coming into their fields at night, fucking flashlights, looking, flipping over cow patties, looking for fucking mushrooms that make you see the aliens. You know what I mean? So I've heard of that, but the most notable one was some dude came up one time, because we had these like manual gas pumps where you could just put the nozzle and whatever you wanted, and then you just pulled this handle and it pumped. We bought diesel fuel and gasoline in bulk. Like a truck came out and filled our tank up, and that's what we filled all of our vehicles and everything with. Some dude came out one night. He was just over there just fucking filling his car up, man. And I guess I call him my stepdad, although he never married my mom. But anyway, my stepdad at the time, he just like snuck down and reached in and grabbed the keys out of the dude's car, and then called it, and then went up to the house to lock the door. Like, you got to find the key to lock the door, because the farmhouses never had locks. Like, we never shut. You could leave for 3 days, nobody fucked with your shit. You know, it just never happened. But so he had to like lock the door, and then the guy obviously filled his tank up and was like, I'm getting out of here, while he was waiting on the sheriff to come.
Find the keys.
So he comes up and he's like banging on the door, you know, I'm sorry, I'll pay. And he was like, you know, I'm waiting on the sheriff. So this is the net result of this with my stepdad. He pissed him off because what happened was they came and towed the guy's car with a full tank of our gas in it, and he never got compensated for that ever.
Shit.
So that was like the whole takeaway he got from this was
he lost the tank of gas.
There ain't no point calling the police. You're still going to lose the tank of gas, kind of, you know, like mentality kind of thing. So he became very like generous in that respect. After that, he would give families milk and stuff if they needed it, and you know, he would help people out a lot, because it was like, if you know, you can call the sheriff, but you still don't get your tank of gas back, and then you just get somebody that's pissed you called the police on them or called the sheriff on them.
Shit.
All right, that's enough anecdotes, Mr. Smith.
All right.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Check us out at www.noshitcast.com. It's KNOWSHITCAST.com. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you, especially Eric. He loves talking to people on the internet. Make sure you give us a rating on iTunes, etc. If you like what we do, please give us a share. We'd greatly appreciate it, and we will catch you all next time. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bicycles.
Bye.